Welcome to the Inside Studio B here in Atlanta. Kenny the Jet Smith. I'm Jared Greenberg. You got your Sega attire.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying as best as I can. You know, Sega is about individuality, so this is very individualistic. That's how I would say it.
That's one way to put it. What would you call that?
It's called a sky, like a cross between a scarf and a tie.
Is that a real thing, or
I just made it up today,
I mean, stick with it.
And I'm going to start doing it right now. So I can cross
TNT
between.
doing their Craig Sager tribute tonight. We on NBA.
I might
TV.
get crazier. I don't know if this is crazy enough. So.
All right, get crazy, get weird. That's what we like around here. NBA TV will do our Craig Sager tribute tomorrow night.
Okay.
Tonight, though, how about this? We got ourselves a pretty good doubleheader, starting with the Warriors in the Eastern time zone, so that's fun. We don't have to stay up real late to watch this one. Playing at 8 o'clock Eastern. The champs, winners of 3 in a row, no Curry, taking on the best team in basketball right now, the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah, this is a great matchup. Obviously, Toronto has figured out who they are very quickly. You know, typically you would think, you know, if you look at the Lakers with LeBron James, it's taking them to figure out who they are with a great player being added. But they've figured out who they are. They understand. We also, you know, Golden State knows who they are. So it's not going to be a surprise to see what they can do. But overall, it's just an unbelievable early season matchup.
Now, Klay Thompson said, we heard that this could be an NBA Finals preview. Kyle Lowry asked about it. He had a much different take. You know, 1 of 82. You can't win a championship tonight. You can't lose a championship tonight. But what can be learned from the Raptors who have put together now 6 straight wins?
Kind of litmus test. When you play in teams who are in their comfort zone, it gives you a great litmus test to say, okay, where are we? And what do we need to add on? Because, you know, you could play, you know, up-and-coming teams, and then it still doesn't give you an indicator on how well you're playing or where you are. But when you play teams like the Raptors or anyone else, you go, I know where I am now. You play the Golden State Warriors, you go, even without Steph Curry, I know where we are. And I think that's what everyone's looking forward to seeing.
Well, when Curry first went out, the Warriors seemed to struggle to figure out their offense. Kevin Durant was putting up good numbers, but people wanted him to put up great numbers. And now he's done that over the last 2 games, back-to-back 40-point efforts from Kevin Durant. And again, no Curry, no Draymond Green tonight, so he'll be counted upon to go against what is expected to be one of the best defensive units in all of basketball with the Raptors.
Best defensive units because they have guys who are committed to guard the three-point line, and they have guys who can functionally guard it. You know, this new, what everyone says, positionless basketball, they're actually built for it. I don't call it positionless basketball. I think there's still, you know, 5 positions because you still need someone to lead the team from the point position, and you still need someone to anchor your defense. But what this does is you don't have to be a great three-point shooter to be a big, but you damn well be able to guard it. If you can guard the 3, you can play. You know, that is just as important as being able to shoot it. And so Toronto has a plethora of guys who can actually guard the three-point and sometimes don't shoot it. And then they have guys who can shoot it and guard it. So that's what makes them, Golden State, teams like that, so great.
Interesting, as you've been following the Raptors all season long, Nick Nurse adjusting his starting lineup to who the opponent is or who he feels has the hot hand. Tonight, Durant's former teammate, Serge Ibaka, back into the starting lineup. Got to imagine he'll take some of the load trying to slow down Durant, as well as Kawhi Leonard and OG Anunoby.
But he could shoot the 3, and he could guard it, more importantly.
Right.
You know Draymond guys who are in the 5 position for Golden State, rather at times either going to rim run or they're going to shoot the 3. When Draymond's in their lineup, they shoot the 3 and they rim run. So without him, with the bigs, Ibaka can play both positions and kind of do both things. He can move from 4 to 5. He can play multiple positions. So no surprise that he's being inserted back.
When we look at the Warriors, the hot start they got off to with Steph Curry when he was healthy, he was putting up numbers that are even incredible for him. You know, we looked and we said, okay, they're not playing complacent. They're not looking to flip the switch. They're focused in. And we wondered if they'd be able to sustain that. And we look back on the last couple of years, and one thing Steve Kerr's talked about is a couple of years ago, they had the Spurs who won 67 games. Last year, the Rockets won 65 games. They had teams kind of pushing them along. With the West shaping out the way it is right now, with 14 teams legitimately thinking that they have a shot to make the playoffs this year, how does that change the way the Warriors are going to play this regular season?
It doesn't. I mean, they're like golf. You know, we had on Bleacher Report the big Tiger Woods versus Mickelson thing. The Warriors treat basketball like golf. They play the course. They don't play the opponent. and they don't worry about what the opponent is doing. As long as it's a par 3, we got to hit it here, we got to hit it there, and then we're in the hole. So that is what you have to kind of think of when you're that great a team. The one thing that Steph Curry does that is so undervalued, and everyone says, oh, Kevin Durant is best player on the team, and Draymond does this, and the heart and soul. But what Steph does is he creates the pace that all of those guys can play at. And he makes the pace of the game so easy for everyone else. So, yeah, 10-2 with him, 122 points, because he's creating a pace, and they're shooting 3 points better and fast break points. He's creating a pace that everyone can thrive and live in. And then all of a sudden, it's like if you think about the great players in his position in the past, Magic Johnson, Steve Nash, Jason Kidd, no matter who they played, you had to play fast if you're playing Steve Nash in the Phoenix Suns. You had to beat them playing fast. You couldn't just slow them down. The same thing with Golden State. You have to beat them at their pace when he's there. That's what makes him an MVP to me, because you have to play their way to win. And that is difficult for everyone to do.
So if we take that small sample size of the first 12, where with Curry they won 10 games, and you play this thing out, and if the Raptors are the team that makes it there, can Toronto give the Warriors a series in the NBA Finals?
Yeah, because Toronto now has the ability to score and play fast. I thought the only way they played last year was they were very good at playing at a medium speed. So, in the 105s, the 110s, they were probably the best team in basketball. But when you stretched them and made them play at a different pace, at times they weren't as good because they had 2-point shooters and not 3-point shooters, and they didn't have anyone who commanded a double team every time like Kawhi does. He commands a double team in the low post. He commands a double team if you play him one-on-one off the dribble, and he can play in the mid-range games as well. So that separate them this year. With as great as DeRozan was, he's a 2-point shooter, and that probably, when you play teams like even last year with Cleveland, and you play teams like Golden State, it doesn't always be as effective.
And you'll see tonight on TNT just how deep the Raptors are as well. Nick Nurse can go 10, 11, 12 deep in the first half. And the Warriors certainly not only without Steph and Draymond, but their bench is struggling. We'll see what type of production they can get out of them. Coming up 8 o'clock Eastern, it is the Warriors and the Raptors on TNT. Plenty more to come here on this edition. Diesel's Dunks in the